This is part 2, the corrective color consultation. I am going to hit the elements of what to charge for and how to map it out with a client in a way that won't make the hairdresser overwhelmed, frustrated, or flustered. I think a lot of times talking about steps of the service, realistic expectations of today, and realistic expectations that are going to happen for the next 4 services, it's very hard. It's very difficult to put out steps and then put a price to it and not feel overwhelmed. So I've got a couple of forms here that have been really helpful, that I developed, that have been really helpful for me and for many of my students to really use as a guide to take you down the steps of deciding what we're going to achieve today with the client and what it's going to look like today, what it's going to look like after the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th service. You know, how we're going to go along the process from what we have as far as our hair color now and what our desired effect is, and what is it going to look like along the way? How much money are they going to have to spend along the way to get the desired result that they're looking for? So on that, what I did was I created a corrective color charge sheet, and it was really meant to be brought over to the station and work with the client. What I found was all these things going through my head, but me maybe not being as smooth describing and explaining. I think for hairdressers, we want to give our clients information, but we don't want to give them too much information. I don't want to give my clients the color line and the formula, but I do want them to understand what's going to happen, that what we're about to do is going to open up the cuticle. I am going to make your hair drier. I am going to make your hair weaker. And we're going to need to repair that moisture and repair that strength as we go along. And the next service that I do, I'm going to make it drier again. And we're going to need to make more strength and more moisture again. It's so important for them to understand these realms and for us to walk that line of being able to describe and explain in a really easy manner for our client to understand without telling them too much, but make it so that you're both on the same page. So my first thing on this, and I'm going to just flash it. I will have it. It's on my Susie Powers Hair Color Education site, my website. This little charge sheet, and then my second page, my corrective color estimate form, right? And I'm going to go through, I'm going to take you guys through these. So for the consultation agreement, it's really, what are we agreeing on? So we are agreeing on that we're looking to take her black hair color, her olive hair color, and she wants to be down the road a medium blonde with dimensional highlights of some lighter and some darker. Okay? Is the desired look achievable in one salon visit? No, it is not. I think it will take a minimum of 4 visits. I think for hairdressers, universal, to under-promise and over-deliver is always your best bet. So if I'm saying it's going to take a minimum of 4 services to get my black all over hair color to a medium blonde with dimension, and I get her there in 2 or 3 services, all right, then I look like Superwoman. That's great. But if I do need 4 services or more, I've set that up. I haven't set myself up to fail, right? If you're writing down in here, because I put spots so that you can write all these things down and you can add in information. You know, if it isn't going to be achieved in 1 service, how many services do you think it will take, and what are those services looking like? So for this client in my imaginary head that wanted to lift her all over black hair color to a medium blonde with dimension, for me, I'm going to choose to take the route of foiling, and I'm going to be doing a heavy foil with a really heavy pickup of a foil. I'm going to do fine weave heavy pickup, and I'm going to try and get as much foil in the packet each time I do a foil. So the route I'm going to take is 4 foil sessions. That's what I really feel like. We'll be doing a full foil each time. We will then do a treatment each service, and then we will be toning / glossing, right? Toning, I'm going to be removing unwanted warmth, and the gloss element of it is I like to follow through with a product that sits on the outside layer of the hair, sits on that cuticle layer and promotes shine. So I will write those steps down. That's what I see fit for the service that I'm about to embark on. What steps will be needed to achieve the desired effect? Foiling, treatments, toners in salon, at home, proper shampoo, proper treatments at home, and the treatments need to be done when? Once a week, twice a week, whatever your direction is with your client, you're gonna write that down. What service is to be achieved today? Today, we're gonna go through and do a very heavy foil. I'm gonna pick up as much hair as I can, and we're looking to start lifting that hair to a lighter blonde. The packets will be pulled out if and when I notice that the hair is getting weak and it's starting to create serious damage to the hair. The integrity of the hair is number one. Packets will be pulled when the integrity of the hair is now beginning to be questioned, okay? I write that down. What products, what treatments will be done today? So for sure, I'm doing a foil. And then I'm going to do a treatment. And, what's your treatment? State your treatment here. You're going to do more than one treatment. Leave it open to more than one treatment if you really feel like you might need to do 2 or more. And then toning, glossing, the direction that you might take there. Will a haircut be performed today? Yes, we're going to be taking a haircut today. And we need trims. How often do we need haircuts? You want to write that down. What is the pricing for the service today? And with that, you want to list out what's the price for the foil, what's the price for the treatments, what's the price for the toner or the gloss, if you're a la carte salon, what's the price for the haircut, and total it. You want to have each individual in a total so that they have an understanding of what they're looking for. And are we thinking that it's going to be the same price each time they come in? What pricing for everything? I said that. I have it down. What pricing for the service? What pricing for the treatment? What pricing for the haircut? I have that listed out. What service will be booked on the next visit? It's important because we should be pre-booking in 2021. And so when will that be pre-booked? We want to see her 4 weeks from now so she has an opportunity of 4 weeks of treatments at home. Do you feel like you can do another foil in 2 weeks? This is all based on your hair analysis assessment. What is the elasticity? What is the porosity? What's the overall condition of the hair? How often do you think you're going to be able to see her back in your chair? And overall, what is the cost? For the estimate and action plan, what I did here, and I'm going to bring it forward so that you can see here, just like with treatments, number 1, and it says treatments, 1 at, if it's restoring the integrity of the hair by adding moisture and strength when needed to allow us to do more services and get better results. So on there, the client and I are filling this out. We're both reading this together. I'm not hiding anything. Gloria, I think we're going to do 1 treatment. It may be 2. Each treatment in my salon is plus 25. The color primer today, for this service, we're not doing a color primer. I marked that out. Are we doing a single process or a double process color? We're doing a highlight today. So I'm going to mark, and we're actually doing a full highlight, not a partial. So I'll mark that. And then next to it, I have what service and then the total here. So I can mark what services, how many things I'm doing, and then the total and a full total of everything today. So it's an opportunity to really break down exactly what you're doing, what steps of the service, how integrity of the hair leads all of your decisions today and from here forward, what the cost in salon is going to be, and then what products she needs at home so that she can understand cost at home. These are so bottom line important. You have to discuss before you begin anything. Are you and your client on the same page? Is this what she's ready to embark on? And does she understand that it is going to feel drier and more brittle and weak for the next few months? Is she okay that she's going to have to use more styling product and more moisture in her styling product to have the hair maintain and behave the way she was used to it prior to this damage? It's going to take a little more work, and you want to make sure that there's not going to be any surprises. I always think about the very first time I got a foil. I was in beauty school. And, I, like everybody else, did a good fry job on my hair in beauty school. We did a full foil. I thought it would be great. And, of course, it took my friend hours to put the foil in. I think it was something like 4 or 5 hours. And we did not get as quick to pulling packets everywhere as we should. And so some of the packets went pale blonde. So you can imagine on my naturally curl with dark brown hair, medium brown hair. My hair was fried. So we had obviously, lifted, toned, styled it at the school. She had styled it, done treatment, put products in it. When I went home the next day, and when I went home, and then the next day when I woke up and I showered and came out of the shower and looked at my hair, the foil packets, anything that had been in a foil packet was 4 inches longer than my hair because it was so weak. It was so dry that my natural curl had no ability to hold shape, and they were literally wet noodles. My hair was wet noodles dripping down. And all the rest of my hair, my natural curl was, as it is, boing. As I started drying it, feeling the wet noodle, I freaked out. So that was me in beauty school, right? So I was in the hair industry. I could have somebody fix it when I went in. I was freaking out. I was sweating. I saw spots in the mirror. I was wigging out. And I'm in the industry. Granted, I was a newbie to the industry. Imagine people that have never felt hair like that. Never seen hair look like a noodle. Never seen hair transparent or dry and fried. As I started drying it, it looked like I had stuck my finger in a socket. I was completely overwhelmed. For a client to experience that, yikes. And so for me, I always keep that so close to my consultation conversation because I want to make sure that when my client goes home after this corrective scenario and she gets in the shower, I want her to know what it's going to feel like wet, what it's going to feel like dry, what it's going to look like wet, what it's going to look like dry. No surprises for my clients in the bathroom the next day, the next 2 days alone. When they're in the bathroom, this is what Susie told me was going to happen. Susie told me it was going to feel this way down here. That's what I want them to think. I want them to know I knew what was going to happen. I told you what was going to happen before we even got started. I mapped out exactly the direction of what was going to go on, and I called every single step along the way. Not that I'm some know-it-all. I want that to give her confidence that, yes, it's dry right now. We're working on it. We're going to be rebuilding. We're going to be replenishing. We're putting moisture back in. We're going to continue to trim those ends as we continue to lighten your hair. It's bringing that sense of her being able to take a deep breath. Susie told me this. This is on the road. I know this is a little scary. She warned me. I'm good. You want them to have that resolve, that deep sigh, that ability to be comfortable and know that you two are on the same page and you described all of these things to her. When I go through this whole thing with her, I've asked all the questions, I've gained all the information, I've taken her through the steps of what we're going to do today and how long she's going to be in the salon today and how often she's going to be back in the salon. Then, only then, do I look at her and say, are we up for it? Are we going to do this? And then we go from there. It's really making sure that you're comfortable mapping all this out and taking all this time to describe and explain, using the visuals, using pictures to really show what dimensional is to you, what's dimensional to her, what's brassy to her, what's brassy to you, so that you're on the same page with the image, you're on the same page with what it's going to take, how many services it's going to take, and what kind of home care she's going to be responsible for. And once you've gotten all that out and you're both on the same page, for me, when I fill this information out, this goes in her file so that I know what we've agreed on. I do know that there are artists out there that get very, very frustrated with the client and I went through the whole consultation. I told her this was what was going to happen. I told her, and now she wants a redo, or now she wants her money back, or now she wants to color it all back to black. I know how frustrating that can be. I think the only thing you can remind yourself of is we work with human beings, and that's how it goes sometimes. You can explain, you can be the most thorough and methodical educator. You can be the most relatable behind the chair with your client, and they have people around them not recognizing them with lighter hair. Maybe people around them are like, oh my God, your hair's so fried, and they're insecure and they want to just go back to the way it was. There's so many different reasons why they might want a redo. They might want to go back to where it was. And you really shouldn't judge. You've got to remove that judgment. And you can't put the intensity of your energy on there either, because it's not going to help you build your business. You're here to work with people as a hairdresser. And so if you're dressing hair, you're doing a good job. So if one day they want to go light and the next day they want to go dark, you want to embrace them and you want to make sure that they understand the decisions we make are going to be on your hair and they will limit us in the future. So as to understand that, but really support them and don't try and get into the argument of, well, this is what you asked for. Well, this is what you wanted. That's not going to get you anything but a client leaving your chair. I certainly don't want anybody telling me, I told you so, or, you asked for it. Especially in these COVID times, I mean, just about anything can make me cry some days. So we really just want to love each other and support each other. And if they do want to redo, if they do, go against what you both discussed, as frustrating as I know it is, you really want to pick your battles and you really want to understand how you want to proceed. There's only so much we can do. And, humans will be humans. So, big hug out there to everybody that's ever had a scenario like that. I know it's happened to me a ton of times. I know I gave her exactly what she was looking for. I know this is what she wanted. But you know what? When she went home and saw the blonde on her skin tone, when she saw the blonde with the clothes on, and when she was trying to represent, it didn't make her feel like her. And she didn't like it. And I've got to understand that. And that's fair. So I'll be happy to take her brown. Happy to be here if she wants to change it. So that is my corrective theory for consultation and the direction with the corrective scenarios. I hope this has helped. I hope you press that like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much and have a great day.